Whoa, it's a beautiful day to do these reactions, man. Like it before you light it, hit the sub before you hit the bud, join the team before you hit the green, and don't forget the
hype me up. Hype me up.
Guys, let's get into this one, dog. TSA is a mess right now, bro.
Welcome back. Another day, no pay. But they vote. I think they vote again today. So we're gonna see what they say.
She look like she might be pregnant. Her face is slim. Her stomach is looking like it's poking out. She don't look like a big girl, so I'm assuming she's pregnant. And she's still going to work and not getting paid, which is crazy because they say people that look like that are lazy.
It's all we can do, baby. I really just feel like this is emotional distress for me. Seriously.
Nah, this the people who behind this movement. Regular, everyday,
carry on with life.
Working people.
Do what I need to do. I just wish the passengers would chill out. They rushing to get to their gate, but it's just like y'all see the lines. Y'all see that what's going on with the airport. So why not get there earlier? Why is y'all still trying to rush us? Yeah, so to continue the videos, day 31, they just voted in. Of course, they still didn't come to a conclusion. So now, so far, if they don't come to a conclusion within this week for us to get paid, be able to get paid next week, after this week, they're going on, where they going on? They going on spring break. And we won't get paid till April 21st. Yeah, make it make sense.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, I'm just walking this baby down and, gonna finish, do what I can do, I guess. But I really hope they come to a decision because April 23rd, April 24th, yeah, we got bills. And I have a baby due. So I just don't know.
Hey, man, by a show of hands, how many of y'all will willingly go to work and deal with American people who are pissed off and mad at you because the lines are long and do it for free? No paycheck. By a show of hands, don't all jump at once.
We're at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, the world's busiest airport, and what we're seeing is an impact for the third straight day on the TSA call-outs. You can see the lines. Look at this. This stretches on for more than 60 minutes. People have been waiting in line for hours. At one point, this line stretched outside the building. Passengers really impacted by this. I want to show you something, though. You can see the impact of TSA agents who are not here. If you look down here, there's all those empty chairs normally filled with TSA agents helping to clear people through security. That's not happening right now. And on the international side, it's even worse. We've been told about 90-minute waits on that side. People are upset. They're angry. They're missing their flights. And this is all happening in real time. The real question, of course, is when TSA agents will get back to work, whether or not the government will fund their paychecks, because obviously the impact is on those agents who haven't been paid. And now the traveling public is starting to feel it.
Yeah, y'all saw that, man. That is crazy. I would not want to be flying right now. And I definitely wouldn't want to be the few TSA workers who are at work right now. That's crazy because people are crazy. If you've never worked customer service, dog, then you need to just go ahead and exit the conversation, because if you have to deal with American people on a day-to-day, then you'll know that this ain't going too good for TSA agents, bro. Straight up. I would not want to deal with none of these people because they done spent their hard-earned money on these flights. And people just act like it's the employee's fault.
This is not a partisan issue. TSA employees did not cause this shutdown, yet they are bearing the burden of congressional inaction. Essential public servants should not be used as leverage in political disputes, especially while members of Congress continue to receive their own paychecks. We are calling on our Congress to act immediately by advancing legislation that separates ICE and CBP from DHS funding, and also by passing the Shutdown Fairness Act. If Congress continue to be paid during the shutdown, the workforce they depend on should be paid as well. To be quite frank, officers are pissed off. And we're not just talking about here in Atlanta, we're talking about nationwide. The officers are pissed off. They want this to end. They're ready to get back to some normalcy or some consistency within their lives. It's very different this time because of the close proximity to the previous shutdown, the 34-day shutdown. So the resources and things that were available, they're just not there anymore. This is not a partisan.
Yeah, that's unfair to the workers, bro, especially these old politicians still getting their paychecks, and most of them are millionaires, while the people who keep the country going are getting fed nothing. They're making pennies on a dollar compared to what they're making, and then they have to still show up to work while the country is shut. Boy, that's some crazy shit.
Y'all, how to turn? Because if this is the preview, girl. Now, granted, I had a time in Houston. Houston don't owe me nothing. I enjoyed myself, but I am not going to lie. This line might make me rethink coming back anytime soon, because how you show up 5.5 hours early and still feel like you're about to miss your flight? At this point, the plane might leave, come back, and I'll still be in line. And just in case you haven't noticed, the line is still going. Y'all, how did I...
That is wild. That's absolutely absurd. God damn.
It's super packed.
More long lines on the way to the gate, and still no pay for TSA officers. In Philadelphia, flyers found 3 of 6 TSA checkpoints closed. At Houston's Bush Airport, it was a waiting game for passengers, even out the door.
I'm here 3 hours early, so let's hope that I get through.
And in Atlanta, Reggie Monsanto says he got there with 5 hours to spare, with good reason.
It's a 45-minute flight, and we got up at 6 to get on a flight at 2.
In the time that we've been here, we've seen the wait time only increase at all 3 checkpoints here at Hartsfield-Jackson. Travelers in the main checkpoint are waiting more than an hour in line. The inconsistency and chaos is adding to the frustration for tens of thousands of daily travelers here.
On Tuesday, Atlanta was one of 3 major airports where more than 1/3 of TSA officers called out of work.
The morale is getting worse by the day because no one knows when this is going to end.
Cameron Cochums is a union steward and lead TSA officer in Boise, Idaho.
You're waiting in line because government can't do their job, and it's ruining people's lives.
Beyond getting to the airport early, a few more travel tips for you. Check security wait times on an airport's website or social media. The information on the TSA's mobile app may not be up to date. If you have TSA PreCheck, opt into touchless ID. That's offered by some airlines. It's similar to Clear and can get you through those security checkpoints a little bit faster. And certainly at a time like this, it's what travelers need.
It's super.
Yeah, bro, and to add insult to injury, bro, jet fuel finna go up, so your prices for those tickets are gonna go up. Everything in life about to go up, bro. It's sad, man. I'm not gonna hold y'all.
Look at the line, y'all. If y'all coming to the airport, ABIA, it's all the way back here.
So this is in what? What's that, Austin?
Look at the line, y'all.
That's crazy. What in the world, bro? No, you really gotta want to go somewhere to be traveling at this time. That's Fort Lauderdale. So what, that Miami?
It's the line.
What? What, that was like 2 days ago?
The ongoing partial government shutdown is hitting airport security workers hard, and some TSA employees say they're now sleeping in their cars because Congress has not passed funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Roughly 50,000 TSA workers are currently working without pay. Many federal employees received only a partial paycheck at the end of February, and this week they are expected to miss their first full paycheck. Some workers say the financial strain is already severe. One TSA employee told reporters that many workers now have bank accounts at zero or negative balances, with some struggling to afford food, gas, or even childcare. As a result, some officers are reportedly sleeping in their car or staying near airports to save money on gas and living expenses. The shutdown is also beginning to affect airport operations. Reports say more than 300 TSA employees have already left the agency, while absences at some airports have reached double-digit percentages. At certain airports, staffing shortages have led to hour-long security lines during the busy spring break travel season. Meanwhile, some airports have started food drives and donation programs to help support unpaid TSA workers. Until Congress reaches a funding agreement, the situation is expected to continue putting pressure on both airport security and the workers responsible for it.
Is the country great again yet? Shit, damn.
Right now is a terrible time to fly. You may not be aware of this, but the government is actually shut down. But the reason why you didn't hear about it is because it's a partial shutdown. The Democrats, in order to deal with ICE popping people in the street, have essentially set up an ultimatum where unless there aren't some key changes made to the ICE organization, that they would not fund the Department of Homeland Security. And that's why the TSA has been directly affected. It's kind of funny, like you don't really think of like TSA workers as like federal agents, but that's exactly what they are. And it's actually one of the most high turnover federal jobs ever. Like it sucks to work there, right? But they are a very necessary part of the process. There's protecting us from terror, like, you know, the TSA, like no disrespect TSA. But since the government's been shut down, or their specific part of the government's been shut down, they've been expected to work for free for the past 30 days. Actually, today is the 31st day, and while I don't know if every single TSA worker is going without pay, at least 50,000 of them are, right? And as you would expect, a lot of people don't want to come into work if they're not getting paid, right? Especially since they have to pay things like gas money, which is actually higher because of the actions of Donald Trump, right?
And say, bro, like I couldn't imagine not getting paid and still having to go to work. I've never worked a job where that was the case, where that could possibly happen to me. I would go there and not make anything. Like, I've never experienced that, bro. So until I put my feet inside of them people's shoes, I can't really say nothing negative towards them. I can only say anything positive to them. Real talk, bro.
And of course, a lot of people have families, right? They got rent to pay. So like they don't want to quit their jobs necessarily, but they also don't want to come to work. So a lot of them are just calling in sick. Like I've seen reports that 10% of the TSA workers were calling in sick at once. Like imagine if 1 in 10 people in a whole corporation just didn't show up to work one day. Right. And the smaller workforce that's not getting paid is doing their best to manage like all the people that are coming. But a lot of people fly in America every single day. And unfortunately, they need a certain amount of TSA agents to properly screen everyone. So that's kind of just where we're at now, because it's like, okay.
Yeah, you man. But nah, he making some damn good points.
So what was your reaction when you turned the corner?
Oh my God, are these the lines for TSA? That's crazy.
So let me get this straight. We on government shutdown part 2, day 30, today. And y'all still out here planning all these spring break trips? Y'all going to Cancun? You going to Colombia, the DR, the Bahamas, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and we ain't getting paid? Nah, y'all go ahead and wrap that up. We need them coins first. You see this? I had to tear my bicep on purpose just so I can not be at work because I'm not getting paid. And you plan it. You better be at your airport 5 hours early.
Hey, 5 hours not even early enough. The other girl was there 6 hours ahead of time. You saw how long that line was.
This morning at some airports around the country, those massive wait times not going away anytime soon.
I travel the world. I've never seen anything like this.
At Hobby Airport in Houston.
I travel the world. In all of my travels and all of my time, I've never experienced anything like it. She sound rich.
Passengers instructed to arrive for their flights 3 to 4 hours ahead of time due to TSA staffing shortages caused by the partial government shutdown.
Crazy. This is the first time I've ever experienced anything like this.
The delays potentially impacting thousands of spring break travelers making their way through Houston's 2 airports. More than 2.5 million daily passengers are traveling through America's airports.
Come on, 2 lines, 2 escalators.
Hey, watch your tone.
Louis Armstrong Airport in New Orleans struggling to manage lines out to the parking garage, the mayor urging caution.
TSA agents didn't receive a paycheck, so you have a lot of the workforce that has called in sick, which is causing these huge lines.
Johnny Jones is the treasurer for the union representing TSA workers.
The thing that I'm going to tell passengers is, please, it's not our fault if people can't come to work because they no longer have funds.
And things aren't looking to get better anytime soon. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby saying the surge in jet fuel prices since last Friday could...
What did I just tell y'all? Everything is connected. You know what I'm saying? The hip bone connected to the spine bone, all that kind of shit.
could have a meaningful impact on the airline's business. And we are seeing shorter lines this morning, but officials are warning the longer this shutdown goes on, the more likely we are to see those issues and long lines. George?
And Gia, there was a major snafu with JetBlue.
Yeah, so this was an overnight ground stop nationwide. It lasted about 2 hours for JetBlue. It turns out that it was an IT issue, but we are told this morning that everything is now back to normal. So that's good news, George.
Yeah, man, this is absolutely insane. Do y'all plan on traveling anytime soon? If so, where are you going? Have you purchased your tickets yet? Have you seen an uptick in price or whatever, man? Because this is ridiculous.
TSA employees, if you're wondering why you're not getting paid, day 26 of the shutdown, yesterday on March 11, Congress voted again to fund your department. Democrats had one concession. They did not want to fund the other part of ICE. They wanted some accountability, and they didn't want to give any more money to deporting American citizens. So if you want to know who to call or blame, Republicans blocked the vote for a partial payment, which would have started to pay you day 26 of the government shutdown. Just so you know, Republicans control pretty much the entire government. They can stop any of this at any time. They can stop the government shutdown. They can stop the war in Iran. They can stop the spending. They can stop the unaliving. Make sure you thank a Republican today.
That's wild. She said, thank your local Republican today, y'all. Guys, hey, shit ain't looking good, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Hope you can use this information. And I'm going to just leave with this.
Hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up.